Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video. This video is a Fenrir guide for jungle. You can play Fenrir solo, probably in casuals, not in ranked, and it can work quite well because you can build Fenrir either full damage, full tank, or damage with one tank item, which is the way that I build him. So, start off in the jungle. It's pretty simple, ability based, assassin, standard start, Bumper's Mask, Bluestone, 2 healing potions, 2 mana potions. That's a given. Then, Warrior Tabby. Fenrir's not an auto attack based god, so Ninja Tabby won't help. Doesn't really utilise auto attacks apart from really late game. That's when he can utilise auto attacks, but not in the way that other gods use them. Just in the way of raw power instead of like attack speed. So, Warrior Tabby. Next, you have a few options. If I'm playing Conquest, which is what I play most of the time, but I have been playing some casual game modes, recently. But I am gonna obviously grind out ranked, try and get to high diamond for the last split before the season reset. I already have had diamond this season, so I don't really need to, but I'm just gonna push high diamond masters if I can. Then, so you have in Conquest, I would recommend Heartseeker because it's quite cheap, movement speed's good early game, 10 penetration is really good early game, and even 30 power. 30 power is quite a bit. Bear in mind, Warrior Tabby gives you 40, and so does Jotun's Wrath. 30 is still quite a fair bit. And also, this will make you hit so hard early game. You'll be able to, you're 1 in 3, if you are a bit ahead, you will stomp, and you will just destroy. Because it deals bonus damage equal to 100%. So if you have these items, you've got 85. That's going to do 85 power, mitigate probably about 50 something. 50 something damage in the early game. On top of this, it's going to hit insanely hard. Other options you can do for your second item is Jotun's Wrath. You're always going to want to get this on Fenrir pretty much. I mean, it's probably one of the best ability based items in the game. 20% cooldown reduction, 10 pen, mana isn't as good, but still something, and 40 power is quite a bit. It is, it's probably about mid expensive, but it's still amazing. Another option you can do is Void Shield. This was gotten a lot in Season 3, and it's still quite valuable, but I just think there's better options for the cost. It's really expensive, but if you think that you need some defense early on, 40 protections, and you're against a physical assassin, it's gonna help you a lot for just surviving in fights. And you can be sort of more a utility to your team. But I would recommend getting Heartseeker. Then, Jotun's Wrath. You're always probably going to want to get this next. Then you have a few different options for what you can go. I personally would usually go Brawler's Beat Stick. If I'm ahead, I might rush a Titan's Bane because they're probably going to start getting some defense. So that will help cut through actual people buying defense instead of just base protections. Brawler's Beat Stick is probably my standard option if I'm just doing normal in the game, not too ahead, because most likely in your game there will be some form of healing, and Brawler's Beat Stick can really do well against that, especially when it's paired with these 3, which I'll get onto the abilities after I've done this build. Next is Titan's Bane. Then you sell Bluestone, get Mantle or Spirit Robe. Again, situational. when you have this, you will have 30% cooldown reduction, which is more than enough. If you are ahead, and so you've got Titans being in this slot, you're probably going to want to get a Bloodforge and Mantle in whichever order you need, or Spirit Robe. You're going to want to get those in whichever order you wanted. Bloodforge is really good for getting into fights, diving, and also late game it will help you do a ton of damage on your 2 when you use it. Your auto attacks are going to hit super hard. I'm just going to level up all these abilities first. Level up order is, you want to start with your 1, group up the first minion wave. I'll show you what that looks like. I'll just kill these. What you want to do is you want to group up the minion wave by tanking it a bit, and then sort of jumping in the middle of it. And you want to, maybe if you can try and hit, so say if you minion waves come in, you say go here, hit the god, and then obviously if you hit the god the minions will come, but then you should be able to jump there and hit all of them. Obviously this doesn't work because there's not a god here. That's your starting in lane, pretty much. So then, level order. So you're going to get your 1 first, then your 3, and then I'd recommend getting 2 points in your 3, and then get a point in your 1. You don't really need your 2 early, it's not really going to help you that much. And then obviously you get your ult. You're probably going to max your ult last, just because it's a 75 damage increase, but the scaling on it is very good. So you go 75 each time, but the physical power scaling on the end, the 258, that's really high, especially for physical power gods. So that will basically make up for this damage that you're lacking, and so will this. His 2 is probably his best ability late game, hands down. So you get your 1, 3, max those, and you have your ult, and then you just get your 2, max that, and then max your ult. It's pretty simple. Next we're going to talk about his passive, which works in conjunction with Heartseeker. Because obviously, you know, basic attack per rune, basic attack per stack of Heartseeker, it synergizes quite well. When you're going into fights, you're probably going to want to have 4 stacks on this. Obviously, unless you want to just straight up jump into a fight, which I don't really recommend, but it is possible. So say you go into a fight, this gives you the most options, because if you start going into a fight and you realise, oh shit, this fight is going bad, I'm going to need to jump out, you can jump out while still keeping all your runes intact. So they'll still just be 1 hit, and you won't have to build them all up again. But if you do this, and you're like, alright, I'm going to jump in, oh no, the fight's turned bad, better jump away, you lose all those runes. So it's probably better to go in with 4 runes. I want to talk about how you should use the runes. So in fights, if you can avoid it, try avoid using them on your 3, because your 3 doesn't really do that much. Unless you have brawlers and you want to apply it to people in a circle around the target. So if we sell that for brawlers, you see all the like, it attacks people in a AoE around the person with runes. Runes deals 75% damage to nearby targets, but that damage also applies brawlers. So if you jump in on the back line and you maybe attack the hunter or the mage, or even just a tank, just to apply the brawlers, because they're probably going to be near the mage that'll be doing all the healing.
Yes, I'd approve.
Then, if you're wanting to obviously initiate into a fight, you can jump and just hold your auto attack down, get an auto attack cancels. It's pretty basic stuff. You go in, you get that guaranteed. So that's to use it as a stun to initiate. Now, if you want to use your runes on your 2, this is for 1v1s. This is when you 1v1 the person, so their jungler maybe starts attacking you. As long as they're not probably like a Mercury, and if they are a Naja, you can avoid the like last hit that does like a ton of damage in case they crit it. And you can use that. Look, 404 per auto attack. That's insane. For auto attacks, bearing in mind this is not an auto attack based build, to get that much power is ridiculous. That is actually insane for boxing, because most assassins won't have that are ability based. And if you want to, say, just go straight in with your ult, or use your ult to escape, you can burn the runes on your ult, which will mean that the protections will double. So his base protections will double. It's like 134, 108, 216, 268. This makes you pretty much a tank. Yeah, that's gonna glitch out. That will make you basically a tank. So you're probably not gonna die if you go into a fight like that. Just put him back in his place. Next, I'm going to talk about combos. So you want to burst someone down in a fight. Say you don't have your ult up, and someone's out of position, and you just want to burst them down. So you have your full runes, have your Heart Seeker. You go in, hold auto attack, press 2 to cancel it. So you use your 1, hold auto attack while you're going through the air, and as soon as you land, you should be holding auto attack in the air. Also, when you jump in, you can also do a little look around to see like who's around. If like their tank's seeing you when he's coming over, you might not want to commit with your 3. Then, after you've done your 2 cancel, so you've jumped in, hit, I missed that. You wanna hit, so you jump in, hit, use your 2. Wait till it gets up. I'm just gonna do it again. Jump in, hit, 2 to cancel it, hit, and then straight into your 3. And I'm going to give you a tip with these 3. People just think that with Fenrir's 3, you just follow them straight behind, and each time he jumps, he's going the same distance, and you can't control that distance. Well, actually, you can. So I'm not going to hold WA and D at all, I'm just going to press it. And you'll see he stays right next to them. And that's what most people think will happen all the time. But there's a way to change it. If you want to stay away from the target, so you're going into a fight, you see them coming at you, but you still think that you can get the full duration of it off, you can hold S. And you see I was moving back each time. That, when he's chasing someone, it'll actually throw the enemies off quite a bit. Especially if they're not used to playing against Fenrirs that do that. And then if you want to follow the target more closely, so you can like guarantee a hit afterwards, hold W. And obviously when you use this 3, just hold down left click. So it's basically like you hit this 5 times instead of 4, because you're getting an auto attack in there. See, my auto attacks are doing 299. Another thing is a lot of people don't do. Just a thing that a lot of people don't do. They don't realise that his 2 won't just affect his auto attacks. It'll also affect his 3. So if you use your 2, look at that, it goes to 160. If you're at full runes, and you go that, see it's 160, that is an increase of 53 damage per hit. So that's, you're getting an extra 200 damage on Brutalize. Late game, that really adds up. If you're getting 200 extra on the Brutalize, that's insane. That shouldn't be happening, but it does. So see if you want to see if your jump to get out, so you want to commit onto someone, so you commit onto them, hit them, they're dead, bang, jump out. So you don't always have to initiate with that. And most people think that Fenrirs always initiate with the 1, and they don't have to. That's pretty much it in terms of abilities and items. I'm just gonna go and cut to the gods to show counter matchups and who he does well against. So, see you there. Okay guys, we're back, and I'm going to talk about counter matchups and who he does bad against. So, start off with Arachne. Arachne is kind of awkward for Fenrir. You can obviously use him to escape her slows. You can also you can also bait her, so you walk into her webs, get her spiders on you, and then she starts coming towards you and you can land the stun on her. But remember, she can always escape with her ult, but she doesn't have any other type of escape from his brutalize. If the Arachne is really good, they can, and they just a better player than you, they can bait you into ulting, and then they can ult at the exact same time or just a bit before you bite them. So you bite their CC immunity and you lose your ult. Next is a Wheelix. A Wheelix is a hard counter to Fenrir. That's pretty obvious why. His jump. He has a very slow jump in the air. He stays in the air for ages. So Wheelix has a really easy time just doing that. Don't think there's really much else with her in terms of that. She can also jump in place with the one, see if you brutalize her and bait her into like your team, things like that. Also, if you don't have your escape ability up your one, she roots you, you're pretty much fucked because your 3 only goes a bit, and that's not really much. Bakasura's ult counters Fenrir quite hard because it takes away 2 abilities from him, his 1 and his 3, which is really frustrating. But you can always ult out of it. But be careful to not ult Bakasura as soon as he ults, because Bakasura gets, pretty sure it's 1 second of CC immunity. 1.5 seconds of CC immunity as soon as he ults. So you can't bite him straight away, or you can just run. Next is Bastet. Bastet can break your 3 with a jump, which is really annoying. I believe also she has Bastet. She doesn't have any abilities, but Bastets tend to get Brawler's Beat Stick quite a lot, and that's easily applicable to your 2, so she can shred that. But apart from that, really, she isn't that amazing. You can easily destroy your cats with your 3 with full runes or your 1. They'll pretty much one-shot them, late game at least. Camazotz, again, his ult, CC immunity, that kind of thing. He can also turn on you, so if you use your 3, he can guarantee his 1 and his 2, which will do a ton of damage to you. Daji can escape your 3. Her 2 doesn't escape Fenrir's 3 though, so you should be okay. She can also like turn and burst on you, and her ult can also be used to escape you if you ult or you 3. Next, Humbats. Humbats, his 1 can escape you, his 3 can escape you. That's really his Fenrir's 3 can escape. That's really all that Humbats can do to counter you. Also, he can use a crit if you brutalize, which will destroy you. Apart from that, not really a massive hard counter. Kali can destroy Fenrir because her 3 can interrupt your brutalize. If she's fast enough, it can interrupt your 1 going off. And also, she can ult, so when you ult, you won't die. Also, she can outbox you when you use your 2, because Kali's probably the ultimate 1v1 god. If she has a ult up, obviously. Next is Loki. Loki can escape your 3 with his 1, but also his ult. But other than that, Loki won't be a problem to you but he's hard to lock down as Fenrir. Next is Mercury. Mercury, as long as you avoid his crits, you should be okay. Also, your protections late game should avoid those crits. Obviously, if he's going crit early on, you might want to think about getting maybe that Void Shield or Mantle Spirit Robe earlier on. Next is Naja. As long as you avoid seeing his attack chain, it should be in stats. Yeah, as long as you avoid that 2 and even that 1.5, you should be fine because he won't be able to crit you. But again, be careful because Naja can use his 3 turn on you and guarantee an ult. We can guarantee an ult if you use your 3 without needing to use his 3. So that's the thing to think about. But Naja can't escape you with his ult. So if he uses his ult to try and escape your 3, that won't work. Nemesis has no escape to you. She can beat you into biting her or using your 3 on her with a shield. But remember, your 1 has hard CC, so it does break her shield, the stun. Then you have Ratatoska. He can use his 3 to break your 3, but his 1 can't escape yours. He can also use his 2 to shred your protections if you're 3, so if you follow him into his team, the Hunter could burst you down, maybe the Soul Laner as well. He can also escape with his ult, I guess, but that's not really much. Circuit can escape you with a 3. She can also break your 3 with a 2. And she can, I don't know whether she can avoid your ult really with her ult, if it's only you two. If there was obviously someone else, then she might be able to for the CC immunity, and then dash away maybe. But if you brutalize, you're getting into Circuit's dangerous range, where she can just burst you down with crits like that. Susanna, his 2 can't knock you up in your 3, so that's will pull you, so you'll stay on him. His 3 can escape you. He can also try bursting you down as well, but he doesn't have any CC immunity, so he only has beads to escape from your ult. Next is Thanatos. Thanatos really hard counters Fenrir because his silence can break you. He can guarantee you the most hard hitting ability early game, his 1, on you. That's really it. But that is quite a lot. Silence and guaranteeing one of the most hard hitting abilities early game. Obviously, apart from Naja, if he gets like the full ring bounce, that's insane. Thor can stun you out of your 3. He can also teleport away with his 1. But other than that, not really much. Obviously, these 2 gods, Thanatos and Thor, have CC immunity, also global, well, semi-global ults. So they can obviously have more mobility than you do. But other than that, there's not really much to worry about. With Fenrir, you generally don't tend to look at the matchups in the jungle. Obviously, apart from if there's an Weelix, which will really hard counter you. You tend to look at the mages. Or Dudishansi, Ao Kwang kind of gets countered by Fenrir, especially if you go Bluestone, because that can break his stealth. But remember, Ao Kwang can get his full 2 on you if you use your 3. And that is one of the most hard-hitting abilities late game. Ao Kwang's full 2, because that can shred tanks. So, in terms of mages, I'm not going to go over all of them. I'm just going to go over the significant ones. Poseidon, obviously, he can stop your 1 and your 3. And the only way to escape that is with beads. And it's quite difficult to walk out, especially if he gets the Gem of Isolation. You can follow Thoth through his dash. So it kind of destroys the safety of that. Vulcan has no escape to you. His 3 can't knock you up out of it. Janus can break your Brutalize with his portals. And he can also gain CC immunity and just flat out escape. Hebo, you counter Hebo very hard, because Hebo has no way of escaping. His 2 won't help him, his 3 won't help him, nothing. That's really it in terms of significance with the mages. Nox as well. Obviously a 2, you 1 and you 3. It's very annoying to deal with. Hunters, there's nothing really significant with Hunters. Obviously how you can like, obviously the ones with leaps and stuff can break your Brutalize. Warriors, again, not really much here. You can always jump out of Odin's cage if you really need to. You can also avoid Ravana's really hard hitting ult. Other than that, there's not really much significance here. You can also brutalize through Tia's 1, his Fearless. Then Guardians, there's not really much significance here, apart from obviously Ares, those cripples. Again, he can hit you from a range, he can keep them on you for a long time, almost constantly with full cooldown. So that's obviously a thing to worry about. You 1, you 3 just get completely stopped by that. Artio as well, hopefully Artio sees some more nerfs, because she's really overpowered. You know, her cripple, you 1, you 3. Other than that, I think that should be it. Just want to show you a Conquest game that I played as Fenrir that inspired me to make this guide. 26-1 and 12. Yeah, these guys weren't really that bad at all. Obviously some of the builds were definitely lacking in terms of the Hunter, the Ares, the Mercury getting Deathbringer first and Hydras, yeah. New spell's fine, but apart from that Rod of Tui that early on. But this was a fairly like even game. Obviously I popped off. But again, the like teams sort of kind of balanced out. In the end we eventually ended up winning, but it took 28 minutes. Which is longer than it should have, since I went 26-1, but yeah. So, I hope you enjoyed, hope you learnt something, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.